chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You will hear some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to the
Good evening,
show.
Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sabrina Speaks. It is a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Yes, despite everything that we're feeling in the air, you know, we're voices of the islands, conversations for the world, and the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. Now, I hope you all had a good weekend. Just let me get these links up here, because today is going to be no different. We have a lot of information as we actually sit almost like with bated breath with what's happening in our sister islands and pretty much what we're seeing in a change in our weather around here, as well as we see what's unfolding with Hurricane Melissa. But yes, the content you're about to hear, including any discussions or opinions from myself, guests, and or participants, are intended solely for general, informational, and entertainment purposes. It's not a substitute for professional legal or financial advice. I encourage you to consult with a qualified professional for your specific concerns. Sabrina Speaks disclaims all liability for any decisions or actions taken in reliance on the information presented. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Yes, and we are bringing it live to you today because tonight the lines will be open. This evening the lines will be open. And also I hope your hearts, because as we know, Hurricane Melissa is definitely roaring towards Jamaica. And while we are not in her direct path, we are close enough to feel what I consider her breath. Yes, this evening is for courage, clarity, and definitely connection. So you're invited to call in, join in this conversation, 936-8255. And let's talk about, you know, everything, how blessed we are, but yet how fearful we are as well for our brothers and sisters over there in Jamaica. And when you see images like this, oh my God, that's from a meteorological standpoint, from those who are into science, from those who study atmospheric pressures and all this sort of stuff, just weather. That may be impressive, but I see so much of Ivan there as well. If you go back to anyone who went through Ivan, and I got some of the latest information as well to share with you that was released at 4:30. So, but yeah, that's wow. You can only hope and pray for the best. I'm being very honest. Words can't express, you know, exactly what could be going through the minds and the fears of all of those persons there in Jamaica for what is about to descend on them. But yeah, oh Lord, it is something. But the latest from the Cayman Islands National Hurricane Weather Service, is that the National Hurricane Center continues its advisory on Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. Now, Hurricane Melissa is now moving northwest at 3 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 175 miles per hour. Melissa is still anticipated to turn north to northwest over the next 12 hours before making landfall over Jamaica. Intersection with Jamaica will result in weakening of the system as it moves near Cuba tomorrow night. Now, Hurricane Melissa is then expected to accelerate towards the northeast, crossing southeastern Cuba and into the Atlantic Ocean thereafter. Now, the Cayman Islands National Weather Service is closely monitoring the system and its influences on weather conditions across the Cayman Islands. A marine watch is currently in effect for the Cayman Islands, and mariners are advised to be cautious and secure their vessels. Venturing out over open water is not recommended, and residents are encouraged to be vigilant and monitor official channels closely for any updates, potential impacts, or advisories for the Cayman Islands. Now, the next update from the Cayman Islands Weather Service is expected to be received around 10:30 tonight. So you keep it if should anything change while we are live here. I'll definitely make sure to keep you all up to date. And also there's a more define about our immediate weather, because you may see bands and squalls as we have here, and I have family in the BRAC. And they're closer to the system than we are. But just before going live, occasional gusty showers are expected through the next 24 hours as outer bands associated with Hurricane Melissa lingers close by. Fresh to strong winds are expected, especially across the sister islands, through Wednesday as Melissa makes landfall across southwest Jamaica Tuesday morning. Some showers may linger through this period with gusts north to northwest winds expected thereafter as the system makes landfall across southeastern Cuba on Wednesday. Now, the small craft alert has been upgraded to a marine watch this evening and will be upgraded further to a marine warning Tuesday morning as Hurricane Melissa makes landfall across Jamaica. So for more details and extended weather forecasts, you can always go on to www.weather.gov.ky for more in-depth weather. So we're going to keep you up to speed. And if we can also get some persons in Jamaica as well to give us some live updates as to what they may be seeing and feeling over there, I welcome them. But you're always welcome to participate in this conversations. Yeah. And 936-8255 is a number to call to engage, because I'd like to know what's on your minds. You understand we have a lot of persons from Jamaica with us. I know I have lots of friends and family over there as well. And but it is just, it's scary to say the least. Even though we're here, it's not about panic, it's being prepared. But when you have something like that that's headed towards you, and gosh, we've been talking about this for almost 2 weeks, and it still hasn't made a landfall yet. The anticipation keeps building, and I'm thinking that's where the panic and the anxiety is building up, because it has been so long talked about that it's building up some fear. And then with all of the rains that they've had, let's say in the past week and a half, the grounds are saturated. It's very mountainous. That water that's falling in the higher elevations is coming down somewhere. And then the gusts of wind and stuff like that. It's going to be pretty interesting what's about to unfold there. And I did some little research for myself. I wonder if I can share that here with you. Because what comes back to mind is I experienced Ivan and Hurricane Gilbert. I could remember that. Let me see if I can get an image, because I did a screenshot here. Even though I was in middle school those days, if Marshall can remember, I think we were in middle school those days when Hurricane Gilbert hit And it was quite interesting when you look at the barometric pressure, which measures how strong a hurricane is going to be. And when you do that into comparisons of this one, I thought it was interesting. The lower the number with the picture I'm about to put up on the screen is the stronger the hurricane will be, right? And I did a little digging just before I did Keen Live, and this was the findings. I compared it. Oh, let me remove this. I compared it with Beryl, Gilbert, and Hurricane Gilbert at its peak intensity. The barometric pressure, meaning the strength, how low the pressure was 888. But when it actually made landfall in Jamaica, the barometric pressure was measured at 940. Right now, Melissa is at 906. Yeah, that means that's a monster. She's stronger than Gilbert when Gilbert hit Jamaica. Okay. And in Beryl, at its peak intensity, the barometric pressure measured at 938. I go back to Melissa, and she's not made landfall yet. And that's measuring out at 906 millibars. So that's something to think about. So when I know people are saying, oh my goodness, this is something else because I think it's just causing panic and fear. And no, there's a reason why media has to get the information out to persons because not everybody understands it. And we may say we weather this one, we weather that one. And we're resilient people. But I think media and government officials have a responsibility to make sure that they're giving the best information, no matter how repetitive it may seem. And something like weather, it is only based on forecasting. This is why some of those meteorologists and scientists will never, it's going to hit here, it's going to do that, like the definitive, you can't. Because it's forecasting probabilities. And remember, at first they were saying it was going to hit like more Kingston, that sort of stuff, but now it's moving west, which brings it closer into our area, but still below Jamaica and expecting it to make that curve. It keeps moving because of the atmosphere, like what these guys are explaining. So even though they were expecting this to come on shore over the weekend, it just was not moving fast enough. And a lot of the times these forecasters, everybody keeps saying John Foster. It's quite comical. It's one of the most difficult jobs to do because you are trying to predict the next move of Mother Nature. And with if this system doesn't prove that she has a mind of her own, Mother Nature, then I don't know what else will. You can give the best estimates as you want and hope for the best. But at the end of the day, she could do whatever she wants when she wants to. And that's what's been proving here, because this system has gotten every scientist's head scratching. And I know people can get frustrated, but it is quite, just got my Instagram people up there. There you go. So it's quite interesting what's unfolding here with the intensity of this. And we can only hope for the best and be there for our brothers and sisters over there. Because I wouldn't wish this on anybody. You know those sayings where you wouldn't wish this on your worst enemy? It's one of those. But all we can do is hope and pray for the best right now. Barbara G., good afternoon. How are you? It's so good to see you. You're first to comment today. Damien Andre, blessed Monday to you as well. Marshall, temperatures should be dropping where you are right now, huh? Good evening to you, my love. Always good to have you with us. Kenya, hi. En el nombre de Jesús, mi milagro. Well, I am going to have to translate that, even though my accent may have been an accident, but whatever that is. In the name of Jesus, we send our blessings to them. I'll assume that's what it was. O'Neill, good evening to you, my sweet. And we are going to do a tag team show with all of us this evening because it is that important to get the information out there. And it's good to have Sandy in the background. No, she's there right on front.
Hello, honey child. I'm here.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I was just sharing some
Yes,
tidbits
I'm
just
sorry I'm
now.
late was on the
Yeah, you're
road
late to class. You got to
doing
do
school
those
pickup.
mommy duties. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But I shared some tidbits just now. I read the latest update on Melissa, but look at what I found about comparison with barometric pressure, which is intensity. When you compare to right now what Melissa in comparison to Gilbert and Beryl. And when Hurricane Gilbert actually made landfall in Jamaica, it was 940 millibars, right? This was it at its peak intensity, but it hadn't made landfall. And right now, Melissa is 906, right? So if she's going to make landfall, it's going to be quite interesting what's happening.
Mhm.
And remember, she's still already stronger than Beryl. So that was so it's quite interesting what she's doing. And some people may be scared of that, but the only thing comes back to mind when I see that, Sandra, is what I even look. Where Jamaica's in the background, I picture Cayman. And it's quite scary when you look at it to see what's about to descend on the good people of Jamaica. Yeah, we can only hope for the best.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for sure. And wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you've gotten in terms of the relevant updates, but
I agree. Yeah, the latest and where exactly we are. But if you got additional information from other sources, we're more than happy to share it. But I read the 4:30 update already from both the National Weather Service and our weather report as well.
Zeus, stop it. Sorry. Got Zeus in the studio barking at me.
Did I tell you? Chance has made it up the stairs now.
Hey, cut it out, sir. No. Let me let him out. Give me 1 second.
You're not supposed to be live this time of the evening, is what he's saying.
Let me put him out with his little toy in his mouth. Go on outside, Zeus.
Well, while she takes him out of the studio, yes, I'm 21. I have no recollection of that. Denial is a brute. Hi, Nancy Harris. God help them. You're quite right. Yeah. Yes, we had just started high school when Hurricane Gilbert. Yeah, we were right there. So that's my memories of Gilbert. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Connie Bonnie. How are you? It's very unpredictable. We don't know We don't know where it's going. Yeah, you're quite right. Hi, Annie. How you doing? Hi, Michelle. Always good to have you here with us. So you got him out? Marshall, yes, it's getting cold. Temperature tonight is going to, nice, 48 degrees. Nice weather. Yeah, and it's that system, Marshall, up north that we are hoping will actually steer this weather. And that's the big turn or the twist that they're waiting for to take place. Until that push happens, she continues to come west. But now they're saying she's wobbling now and she's making the turn, which still does not put that turn far enough that it will not make a complete landfall right now forecasted on Jamaica. So it's quite interesting. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And that drop in pressure is so reminiscent, I think, of Ivan. And that's precisely what you don't want to see.
Correct. You don't want to drop. You don't want those numbers to drop.
So, obviously the Jamaican people are preparing. We'll call a few of them this evening to kind of see how things are starting to look in terms of the weather.
Correct.
But, they are preparing from all accounts as best that they can. Some people are really trying to ride it out in areas that they know are prone to be problematic. The press conference earlier, the government mentioned that in one area they went in because there was a whole question about whether or not they were forcibly removing people. And so their prime minister spoke about that because, they don't want to have people feel like they're being forced to leave, but they also have a legal obligation to protect people,
life and death, for God's sake.
From themselves, in fact.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. that people would still try to stay worried about property. I mean, I was speaking to someone here earlier and they're like, oh my gosh, listen, if it comes down to my life or property, I'm out of there.
Mhm.
Like, I don't really care about the property that much.
Yeah.
But you know, people have different priorities and they think it's so funny how, because I remember even this with during Ivan, there are people who decided to stay knowing that, you know, those particular areas were pretty bad.
Mhm.
But I think honestly, not recognizing how bad,
Right.
you know.
I think it was the part where I saw just before coming live, Port Royal. There did an interview with a gentleman who said he's been there in Port Royal from 1980,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not moving. And in the height of every tropical system that has ever come across Jamaica, he has not moved. He has no intentions of moving for this
Wow.
one either. And while the storm is at its peak, he's outside cooking veggie chunks and roasting breadfruit and just cooking and living life. And they were asking him, well, there is a big difference in this system. Hasn't that made you change? And he's like, no,
Hey
I
everyone,
will not
welcome
move.
back to Reelings.
So
Yeah,
it's pretty, their mind is made up. And then you
Yeah.
have those who are fearful of leaving because they don't want anybody to break their homes. Now, that
my
is a
gosh.
different level, Sandra. I can't even wrap my head around that, but
Yeah.
it's the way of life there, that if you even try to save your own life, do the rightful thing and go into a shelter, you may come home and your house is looted.
Oh God, it's horrible.
That's the
Yeah.
reality of life there, unfortunately.
And ultimately it still isn't going to be worth it though, you know, because listen, from all that we saw, I mean, everybody all over the world is now tracking this Category 5 storm, but from what we saw, even in Ivan, there were people who regretted staying. They were
Yes.
like, man, had I
Yeah.
known, because they
Yeah.
were literally, thankfully, we didn't have any loss of life, but I can tell you that there were people who were so close. They felt like they were so close to losing their lives. And when they reflected back on it, you can see some roads already starting to flood. But when
This
they
event from yesterday.
reflected back on
Harbor
it,
View.
they were like, you know, they wish that they had left.
Yeah. You know, there's
So-
still some concerns that people are saying because they weren't necessarily locals. You're not going to tell everybody that we didn't have 1 or 2 lives lost when
Well,
Mariners Cove.
we had 2. I think there was 2 official
No,
deaths.
they're talking about Mariners Cove that just was never accounted for.
Well, listen, I mean, I heard the conspiracy theorists,
Yes.
you know, and I say that even if they were not locals, they were here in a work permit.
Correct.
They've got loved
Someone.
ones somewhere around the world. Somebody would have missed them. So there
Yeah,
was no
yeah,
way
yeah.
that someone could have disappeared during
Gotcha.
Ivan and somebody not go, oh, you know, I haven't seen my uncle so-and-so in a hot minute.
Right. Right.
So, yes, Mariners Cove was washed away, and it was shocking afterwards, but everybody managed to get out. So yeah, I mean, I get it that people are like, because it was so devastating,
Yeah.
but we were just, God was looking out for us, girl.
No,
There's
it's
no
true.
other way.
He had
to
his hand
explain.
on us as usual. And like,
Yeah.
you know, he had his hand on us. We were so blessed.
Yeah, there's no other way to explain this. And I do understand that's why it's so unbelievable for people, because they're just like, there's no way. Yeah, somebody must have died during the storm. I'm like, huh.
Correct.
But it speaks to, you know, we had 95% of our buildings damaged. And so it speaks to the build out of our
Planning regular. Right.
you know, not for nothing, but those concrete buildings came in really handy.
It did. And that's the concern here, because they have a lot of structures over there that is out of wood, because plywood, what we would use to batten our windows. I was talking to Miss Dawnette earlier on. She's like, Miss T, what you all use to actually cover your windows, not cement board, what you guys give out during a storm is what we use to build our houses with, a lot of us. Now, some, of course, cement is the preferred way to go, but a lot of the structures, that's where they start from. And she's like, I'm fearful that they're going to be the ones that are going to just not going to be found, unfortunately,
Oh Lord.
based on
Yeah.
wherever this eye comes on shore.
Yeah.
We have a caller, my love. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Sabrina Speaks. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? I got plenty of friends in Jamaica, and I'm praying because I talked to my friend in Kingston last night, and she said she hoped because she said she experienced 2 bad storms and she's well shaken up and she not prepared. But I said, pray, God is good. And I got a good friend in St. Mary, and I got somebody in Trelawney, but the one in Trelawney, we can't get on to them from yesterday because it's up of the hill to get a signal. And we've been leaving messages and things, and we can't get on to her, so I hope nothing happened to her.
Well,
But
we're going to keep the faith, because there are some areas don't have lost telephone service and electricity already, so it may not. She may be safe.
So I watching everything, and my sister then keep me informed while they watching the states and things too. What I wanted to say about Mariners, so we were just talking about that just this morning. Me and somebody, I'm to be corrected, but what I heard, because I don't know if I heard about, they say they were partying when they tell them to leave, and they wouldn't leave. And I heard that plenty of people were killing that, but they were foreigners, and they just notified their people and just put them in bags and whatever, what they find. That's what I heard. And then the person was saying the same thing to me, that's what they heard. So we don't know, but I think the people got killing from up in there because they said it was a huge amount of people up in there and they would not leave. So I heard.
Okay.
And when you cross there, the days afterward, you could have smelled like stink of human remains or stink. And you could have smelled stinkness coming out up in there.
Well, like I said, the government obviously has an official position. And I think that, again, if there was something more that had gone on, we would have known about it, because people just don't disappear in this day and age, and family members are not going to be all over social media about it. So I don't think, yes, it's unbelievable that Mariners Cove got washed away and that everybody got out, but thankfully they did, because had they not gotten out.
That's the story, but not everything you hear, because like you say, you hear truth and you hear lies, but that's what the story that we're on here. So that's why I heard. And then just this morning we were reminiscing, but boy, I tell you, this is a monster. And I thought, but oh my God. And I seen some fight. I had to cry. I say, four people, and my friend tell me that they lose, and St. Mary, they already lose 2 sheets of zinc off of their kitchen floating in water. And then what they concerned about, because they keep telling me that they got this big ribena tree that hangs over their house, and it hang over their bedroom. But they said it wasn't. But what happened, it was loaded with the ribena, and they didn't want to destroy them. They were trying to wait, and they need like a power saw. And that's what they're concerned about. And then they had about 9 bunches of nice bananas that they say all their suckers in their yard, because they plant cocoa, banana, yam, all kinds of things. Already, all them done going.
Oh, wow.
All them done blew gone.
Well, let's keep everyone in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you for sharing that with us, my love.
And I talked to somebody after just now, because they still got power, and they still got wipe all it, but they think, and I say, well, they say that only can probably be out of power for days, and then on the internet it's gonna go down and stuff. But certain part things are already done. Certain part they're already out of lights and all that. But anyway, like, God is good, and I say keep the faith.
Yep.
He can move mountains. So
that's
anyway,
true.
I was listening to Andrew and all them talking this morning, but don't let everybody go. And then they were wondering about if Trump gonna help. But my sister said Trump gonna help. He gonna help him. He not a bad. He not chipping. He not on it.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Tisha Swift, we got a commenter here, Sandra. That says,
Sorry, say that again.
We have a comment on Facebook.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, not wanting to leave, it was in regards to people going to shelters. Not wanting to leave your home to go to a shelter is one thing. Apprehension to go to a shelter for fear of sexual assault is a whole other level of fear and protection of your safety. It's heartbreaking that citizens have to weigh these life and death decisions. You know, Tisha, I did hear that as well, that was some of the apprehension as well because of sexual assaults as well, some of the shelters.
There were people in the comment section who were saying, "Oh, they've never heard of that. That's not true. That they have guards at the shelters." But I can tell you, that I saw a video earlier, and I'll try to pull it up here, where there's a lady who is basically like the shelter warden, and she has a lot of special needs people at that shelter. And she was saying that unfortunately, she did not have anyone there to assist her.
To our sister.
So,
And I think there was one mental
how
issue
many
too.
people, yeah, I forget how many people she actually had, but you know,
the ratio wasn't making sense.
Yeah. So I don't know if something was to go down there, she would be able to help them. This is the manager of the St. Mary's shelter is appealing for urgent help as she struggles to care for more than 40 residents, including several individuals with disabilities. She revealed that she is the only person currently running the facility and has been forced to rely on the occupants themselves to help prepare daily meals and manage basic operations.
Oh my goodness.
So, you know, while
my name is Marlene.
I'm going to download this.
Bring it up.
Watch this.
Okay.
But while people are swearing for these things don't happen, it's possible that they happen anywhere in the world, you know, and unfortunately during disasters, I hate to tell you, but that's when some people see an opportunity to take advantage of other people. And I mean, as horrible as that is probably the reality for a lot of people around the world. So, you know, nobody wants to think that that happens, but but I'm going to pull that video up here.
Well,
so
that's
that,
uploading. Kathy Wilson said wind gust of 201 miles per hour clocked by hurricane hunters. That must be their last flyover. They clocked wind gusts of 201 miles an hour.
And I think some people saw earlier the post that we had put up on the CMR page where they had abandoned, they were trying to fly back into the storm and they abandoned it because they just couldn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Funny enough that you said that. I was sharing with you the experience last night. I was up pretty late and I was watching one of these other bloggers similar to what we're doing, but he's really techno. Like you think he got all these screens in the background, and it was around midnight. And when he actually tracked the plane going into the eye of Melissa and it closed up, it like the image were like it closed. And then when it opened back up, that was when the readings came that she had actually upgraded to a Cat 5. What you call the regeneration of the eye. I literally watched that live last night. It sent goosebumps, but almost in fear, in panic, because oh my gosh. And then if you saw the track of the hurricane hunter plane, it was like they were trying to get in the middle, then they had to go to another direction and then they went back in. I know every time they do that, because I've been following these things for a long time, that they're trying to do different wind speeds at different areas before entering the eye. And then when they actually got into the eye, that it opened back up, it was this light show of lightning. But I watched that at 12. That was at 12:03 this morning. Yeah, I watched. Oh my gosh, that is something I'll never forget. But we watched that live, and it's amazing what you can find, power of the internet now in different YouTube channels. We were watching it live as the hurricane hunter went in. So I'm not surprised that they had to back down because it was that bad.
Yeah. Well, have a look at this video. I was just talking about this shelter warden, and this is what she had to say.
Arlene Murphy Price. Well, we have been in the shelter from it was activated on Saturday night. Saturday night we had one shelter room, and Sunday morning we had Sunday morning straight back to Sunday evening we had about 20, 22, 23 persons coming in to overnight, and this morning to now we have 42 shelterees here, and we have amongst us an amputee, a recovered stroke patient, persons that are physically disabled, we have babies. So that's the word. Just me alone. I have to ask persons to help me. Like this morning we were making breakfast, so 3 of the shelterees, I asked them for help and they're glad to help. I'll be preparing a meal for later on, and I have already asked the same 3 persons to chip in to help. So that's basically how we are doing it. Honestly, I have a partner that works with me, but unfortunately, this is the first time he is not available now because generally it was 2 of us. So I'd really love some help now. Really love some help now because it's to handle 42 persons with disabled, because when you came, I was changing somebody, you understand? So I'd really love a help right now.
Oh,
So,
wow. She was changing
again,
somebody. She was
yeah.
changing somebody. So
Yep.
she's not only the
Yep.
shelter manager, she's also taking care of these people.
Yeah, that's the situation. And as you can imagine, Sabrina, I mean, there will be things there that she probably is not
Can't
even
do.
aware of that's going on. I mean, let's
Exactly.
be honest.
Yeah.
We do have some people in Jamaica that we're going to contact now by phone
Go ahead.
and kind of get some updates from them in terms of what is happening there on the ground. So we called a few people this morning, and we're going to go ahead and call a few more now to kind of see what they're saying about what's happening. So I think Zeus came in and left my door open, but
Hi, Sandra.
hey, good evening. Good evening. How are you?
Not too bad.
Just doing our live evening show now. So just trying to get an update on how conditions are now. You're there in Kingston, but tell us how things are feeling, and are you starting to see, we can see some deterioration just from the Kingston Harbor camera that the winds and stuff are picking up, but what's your observations?
Yeah, man. So the winds are picking up. Winds are picking up, and the rain is getting a little bit harder now. But the winds, intermittent. Like you get some wind and then they go back down. The whole place is black. Skies are black. But it's getting a little bit more intense on this morning.
So you can definitely see the difference in the actual weather itself. And have you been able to talk to anyone since we spoke that making their last minute preparations?
Well, everybody is getting stuff done. Yes, today's the last day. Tomorrow is the big day.
It's gonna be there in the morning, next couple hours, really.
Yeah.
Were you able to catch the press conference earlier from your different government ministers and the premier? What were your thoughts in terms of what they had to share?
I haven't heard. I'm here at work. We're doing some last minute preparations, and I was on the outside, so I left all my phones and stuff inside. I really wasn't listening to that part.
Okay.
I'm actually on the outside now.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we're hoping that everybody will remain safe. What do the streets look like? Do you see much action on the streets at all?
Well, the traffic is down to a minimum. I'm looking out where I am. I'm actually on top of a high place. I'm looking out at the sea. I'm looking under. Traffic is down to a minimum, like literally 1 or 2 cars passing. I can actually see the rain clouds and the rain coming down right now. It's getting dark, but yeah, the rain is intensifying right now.
All right. Well, continue to be safe, and we'll call you in a couple hours, and see how you guys are making out.
Yeah, man, no problem.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right, cool.
All right, my dear. Yeah, all right. So that's one of our contacts there in Kingston Central, very close to the airport, in fact, just giving us some further updates on what's happening there. Any thoughts on that, Sabrina?
It's interesting because when this was first forecasted, we expected Kingston to bear the brunt of this. Now that it's continuing to move west, where we thought like Montego Bay and that sort of stuff may have been spared somewhat. Now, because of it continue to move west, they're now forecasted to get stronger winds. I saw on Brian that they're expected to sustain winds of 130 miles, whereas they were forecasted to only get, this is Montego Bay, forecasted to only get winds of 90 miles an hour. So as you can see now, it's moving west, about to make that turn. Where was expecting to feel the brunt of this? You're talking about Black River, you're talking about Portland, sort of stuff, with all of this surge of water just coming on the on shore. The more it continues to move west, what was expected or forecasted from certain parishes will move to other parishes on the western side of the island. So it's quite interesting to hear that report from Kingston. It would be great to get somebody in Montego Bay as we continue to see this get closer, and the stronger bands of rains, which is, from what I'm understanding now, is all over the island, getting some form of tropical storm force winds and conditions. But it would be interesting to hear somebody like down in Old Harbor, Harbor View, and to hear what's going on in Montego Bay. I saw some videos as well of a resort in Montego Bay yesterday that a lot of the tourists refuse to leave. They just decide to hunker it down. So it will be interesting now that it's moved further west and more of a likelihood of going closer, the eye, which is, even though it's small, it's the stronger, more catastrophic damage that's going to be forecasted, to see operations, those hotels on the North Coast, as we know it, Montego Bay area, will actually prepare for, because I'm quite sure their plans, even though everyone should have been prepared, with it being forecasted to hit more a Kingston side of things, but now coming on shore more westerly part of the island. Yeah, I'm quite sure it's a bit different right now. The feeling must be different.
Well, we see a view here of the HWT Transport Center, and there's hardly anybody. One guy crossing the crosswalk and about 3 cars, which, as you know, this time of day, normally anywhere in Jamaica, you'd have
hustling and bustling all along there.
Of course, 5 o'clock traffic and all that sort of stuff. Some of the lights are already flickering here in this video. And I noticed, in fact, that one of the other streams is already down. So as I'm going through and testing the streams,
there was one of Flatbridge too that gave you real time of Flatbridge.
Yeah, we're going to pull that one up here in just a second. But some of the feeds already start to go down as well.
And there's one with Devon House, a crossroad at Devon House as well. There's a live cam there as well.
All right. So we have another caller who's also in another part of Kingston. We're trying to see if there's anybody in
it will be good to get Clarendon,
in Montego Bay.
Bay. Yeah, let's go west.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
We are doing pretty well.
Yes. Just calling for a little bit of checkup. If you can tell us how things are looking there.
Okay. Well, for the most part, we've been having just light drizzle. And I did a little survey calling friends and family throughout the island.
Right. And just clarify where you are, because some people want to know what parish you're in.
Okay. Actually, I'm in the rural part of St. Andrew, in the hills of St. Andrew, that says, which is in the Stony Hill area.
Okay.
All right. And I did a little survey to find out if the weather was just about the same in most parishes in Jamaica. And I spoke to somebody who was in St. Thomas, and they were just getting light showers, light drizzle. Right? Spoke to somebody up in Kingston, which is like in Barbican, Oak Road area. And if you know Kingston, it's like on the Barbican is like going up into Mona. And they're experiencing the same effect. Persons there are just wondering, is it true that a hurricane is coming? I just spoke with somebody in Green Island. And she's at the New Princess Hotel. And they are not having any rains, just very light overcast. It's overcast and sometimes very light shower, like a little light drizzle, but it's overcast.
So they're
So
so they're actually questioning
nothing.
if the storm is even coming.
Exactly.
Wow.
I just spoke with somebody in Hanover, and it's just barely drizzling, overcast and drizzling. I just spoke with St. Mary, and the same thing is happening there. So
But
Saint Elizabeth is
yes.
having some more wind than the rest, though. Just
Yes.
a little getting up of the wind, but not much. They're saying.
This is the calm
So
before the
we all
storm.
are experiencing just a very light shower, very light drizzle,
Yeah.
like what a person would call like a lover's rain. You'd walk in it, right, right. Because I went outside to reap stuff today,
Yeah. Wow.
right. So
Wow.
all of today, and we're hoping that it will be, passing us down the south. But for now, we all are experiencing just light drizzle. I spoke with one person who there this area is prone for flooding, and it's down, well, he's close to that area, Marcus Garvey Drive, Spanish Town Road, and there's this road going down to Spanish Town Road. I was saying to him, how are you? Because all of the rain from in the uptown area would be going down that side, going to the sea. And he said it's just like normal. We expect that whenever there's a light shower, we'll have like a little stream of water running down the road. And yes, it's like a stream going down. Nothing that is unusual.
Right.
Nothing unusual. So I say, everybody just wondering now if we're really hearing, or is it going to be coming here? Or is it going to pass and we're just getting outer bands of rain? So we're still hearing on the radio, just now at the 5 o'clock news, that it's not yet
Yeah,
time for
it's
it.
not there yet. Yes. So this is the calm before the
Exactly.
storm.
Exactly. So hopefully, as I was saying to you, I really personally do not like to face a hurricane in the dark, in the night. So, and that's what seemed to be happening. So it takes, some watch out for it. So we'll have to be watching out for it tonight. Not until tomorrow in the day before we can say yes, it's gone.
Right. And of
It's
course,
gone.
the plan is to stay inside, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We're still
Have you boarded up? Tell us what sort of preparation has your family taken?
um actually my windows are hurricane proof.
Hurricane
So the
rated.
windows, yes, they're
Uh,
hurricane rated. And where I am is we don't have any trees or anything to blow that we'll be jeopardized, if you understand. So if debris, if there's not much debris to be coming our way, what we'll be facing is the blunt of the wind itself, right?
But
And
of
because
course,
they're made in such.
things can fly a long ways too. So you know
Oh
how that.
yes. Oh
Yes.
yes. Oh yes. But yes, people have been taking up, like the business places would have to be doing that, and the lower areas. But we have done, so what we would have done is go around the house to see if there are any loose objects for to be a projectile, you know. So we have removed those, clear as much, so there's nothing outside to go flying about. So most of all, that's what we have done. And then we have put in somewhere measures for water. So we have like full up on another tank and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So still we do have water at the pipe now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
So basically that's about what.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that people are now in the shelters because
Mm-hmm.
they're uncertain as to what to expect.
We're watching the
Right. So
live cam from the HWT Transport Center, and I can tell
that's right.
you, I see only 4 cars stopped at a light there. Normally that area would be bustling
That's
with
halfway
lots of
through,
activity.
yes.
Yeah, nobody
But
on the
we're being
road.
asked to stay home.
Yes,
Everybody, we are asked to stay home. And I think you can see the drizzle from there too,
yes,
which
it's
is,
raining a little bit. Yeah,
yes, yes,
but I still see a
yes.
few people on foot walking in the rain. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't
That's
know
what
where
I'm
they're
saying.
going.
It's like no, it's like a lover's ring. Halfway tree is never it never close. People will always be there. And if you go there now, people will be selling.
Mm.
So
Oh, wow.
you can still get stuff.
So someone is asking where you're at if you're on the side of a hill. You're up the hill.
Yes. I'm up the hill. I'm up the
So,
hill.
so no
And
concerns
it's
about mudslides where you are?
no. There's solid land there. No mudslide.
Mm-hmm.
No mudslide where we are. It's just solid land and it's stony hill as it suggests. Stony.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the place is stony, so
Mhm.
no slides.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Right,
Because there are a
right.
number of areas that will have they are prone to
Mudslides. Like
mudslides
in the
with rain
junction, I heard that there was one slippage already on the
already.
road.
Oh wow.
Yes, there was one slippage in the junction area going to St. Mary,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it was quickly cleared because they don't want to have block roads.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
right.
thanks again for the update, and we'll be checking in with you.
We thank you. We'll keep you posted.
All right, darling. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye. So we're trying to get someone, Sabrina, in the Montego Bay area. I'm actively working on
Yeah,
that.
no problem. I was listening to her carefully. She said the slippage that she had was in St. Mary.
Yeah,
But
Junction
yet,
Road.
okay, but yet, when you look at a map of Jamaica and all of the parishes,
Mm-hmm.
it's coming more on the bottom of Jamaica, which we'll have St. Catherine, Clarendon, Mandeville, St. Elizabeth, that sort of stuff. Where she said the slippage was of St. Mary, that's the furthest away, which would explain, that the rains that they've had before is what's causing all of the landslides.
Yes, because a caller mentioned this morning, I verified
Yeah,
that with someone else, that
correct.
they're kind of water soaked already
Already. Mhm.
from rain. So it wouldn't take much because in fact, they have slippage, with heavy
Right.
rain, much
Correct.
less a storm of this magnitude. So yes.
Because I'm seeing people are saying what parish. There's a reason why. Because the St.
Yeah.
Andrew, St. Thomas, it's moving west, which means it's moving away from St. Andrew, which is where Kingston is. That's a parish where Kingston is in St. Andrew. So the light rains that we're seeing, even though they will intensify later on as the stronger bands come on shore, and that's where the St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, all of those now are actually in the cone or the path of where the eye should be passing. So, yeah, the whole island is pretty much going to be hammered by something, in a sense where winds and rains are concerned. But I'm not surprised that this image that you have on the screen right now, which is in St. Andrew, where Kingston is, that they're getting these light showers. If you get somebody more on the north coast, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and all that sort of stuff, that's where the stronger ones now is forecasted to come on shore. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to get a hold of one of the managers at one of the major hotels in Montego Bay, and seeing if we could speak with him. But of course, he's probably busy with all of the preparations and stuff.
But very
So
interesting with that
Tanya
date.
says yes, praying for Jamaica, most certainly. We're all doing that. Denny
Yeah.
says hashtag lovers rain.
Lover's rain.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the first time I've heard that term, though. But yeah.
yeah. But we know what it means. It's a kind of weather that makes you want to snuggle up.
I guess we'll have
you
Patty
stay in bed
Melissa.
and Netflix and chill.
We'll have Patty Melissa.
So we've gotten a report that Montego Bay is a lot like Kingston right now, light showers and intermittent winds.
Because it's that far off. Let's see if I can get the distance, how far away it is, and then I'll put it into proximity.
Yeah. So it's still out there. It hasn't, I think it maybe 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's wee hours of the morning, which is what your caller, the last caller was saying, or that you spoke to the lady. She doesn't like navigating these types of systems at night, and it is going to come in the wee hours of the morning. Brian,
although sometimes I feel like it coming at night is not a bad thing because people will stay inside. They're less likely to want to go out in it.
With the Cat 5, whether or not, my love, you're going to stay inside.
Yeah, well, some people, they want to go out there and look at the water and look at this and look at that. And Kathy is asking about what about Ocho Rios area?
Okay, Ochi is on the, where is it? Right here. Let me look at my map. Ocho Rios.
Sherry's Pineapple saying, my experience with hurricanes is the effect will occur after the eye has passed. Do not be fooled. Yeah, well, a lot of people put down their guard like, oh, the eye wall is over us. Oh, honey child, nope, stay inside. Don't come out until the all clear has been given by your respective official agencies.
Right.
That's what you got to make sure that are.
It's more going to like Black River, which is in St. Elizabeth and Manchester way. It's going that way. And then it's going to probably make that hook between Westmoreland and Hanover, which is all forecasted right now. If you know the map of Jamaica, I suggest to make it easier on everybody. Yeah, if you can pull up the map of Jamaica, then you can see where it is meandering offshore right now is closer to Manchester, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, St. Catherine, those parishes. On the backside of Jamaica, you'll have your Trelawney, your St. Anne, your St. Mary, and Montego Bay, Falmouth, and them. They're on the other side, like closer to Cuba, closer north. Right now, where Melissa is, she is out in the Caribbean Sea, but closer to St. Elizabeth, Mandeville, that sort of stuff, where she is right now. So they're expecting her to come on shore in the Black River area between Manchester, Westmoreland, that sort of stuff, and then go diagonally, covering Montego Bay, Trelawney, and possibly brushing St. Anne's and St. Anne's Bay. That's only what's forecasted right now. And because of her moving so slowly, thank God that the what is forecasted or has been reported is so small. But it's so small and dangerous is why I think the fear is wherever this makes landfall, it's going to be catastrophic, which is why Black River residents were being urged and the Portland people were being urged to just get to Highland. Just get
Girl, let me tell you something. I'm sitting here yawning. I feel like I need to get up and do my squats.
Well, you can get up and do your squats. You ain't gonna bust up my knee. I ain't gonna lie. You get up and you do your squats.
Excuse me. In the name of sticking with it and continuity, I'm gonna do maybe a little 25 count. But in the meantime, Sabrina, I wanted to share a few videos that we had here. Okay. This one is from Springs Plaza, the security detail.
Caller. Can we take Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin's calling.
Sure.
Good evening, caller. Welcome, my love. How are you?
I am doing well, Sabrina and Sandy. How are you?
Hey, pretty good.
She's busy doing squats, and
I know.
I'm squatting too. Yeah, in my mind.
Yes, in your mind. I guess I'm kind of the same way, and I should say shame of myself because I need to do a little better. People have been telling me, they've been seeing me around and looking at my belly and says, Kevin, you're expecting?
No, sir.
What you got for us? Kevin, for God's sakes, the mosquitoes almost picked me up last night. Oh,
Lord God.
my
God. They're gonna get worse.
Know it's bad.
Oh my God. You know, the government in Jamaica is warning people that after this, they're probably gonna have a dengue outbreak.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
So, two things. Let me just take care of the mosquito talk real quick first, and then I'll get into why I'm actually calling. But yeah, mosquitoes, we know it's not the best situation right now. What's happened is that we've been trying to break the cycle of new emergencies each time. So anytime it rains, anytime the winds are a little stronger, we have to cease operations, or we can't carry out operations. And so with the amount of rainfall that we have been having consistently, it's been very challenging. So when you look at kind of when we do our evening time operations, so what we call adulticiding, and that's when we are eliminating the mosquitoes as they're emerging from the swamps. It typically is 15 minutes after sunset when that occurs. And so if it just so happens to be inclement weather at that present time, we miss that window of treatment.
Okay.
And then we have to wait until the next day. And we have had quite a few of those scenarios happen. And every single time it rains, and over the last month and a half, we have had lots of rain. And every time you have a rain event, we could expect about 10 days later that a new emergence of mosquitoes will occur.
They're horrible.
So it's been a terrible year for us. Last year, we were bragging that it was the best year on record, because it was. But we had, even though it was also the wettest year on record, the rain events that we had last year were lots of rain, then we had a long period in between, before lots of rain, and then we had a long period in between. And so it was quite easy when it came to controlling them. This year, it's been extremely, extremely challenging. And then that just has caused this major mosquito emergence, really, where throughout the island, mainly Grand Cayman, the sister islands actually aren't as bad, but Grand Cayman specifically, it's been bad. I will tell you that the north side and the Prospect Red Bay area is the worst based on the data, because remember, we are data driven. So we have trap networks throughout the islands. We take public complaints. We have workers that go out each and every day into the field to, carry out different surveillance. So we bring all of those data tools into our database, and then that's how we strategically make and create our operations. And so I posted a video on our YouTube page as well as Facebook page. And if you're following the WhatsApp channel for MRCU, I've sent it out there. But if you just go to YouTube and go to the MRCU YouTube page, there's a video there that goes into much greater detail. So it's a long video, it's 20 minutes long, but it goes into how we got where we are, and a lot more comprehensive answers for those who are more interested.
Okay,
so I encourage people to do that.
Thanks.
And it kind of even goes into the data, how we collect data. It's a lot more comprehensive than my quick summary.
Okay.
But that's what's happened right now, and it's going to get worse before better. We have been dealing with a lot of different operations going out inside some of the heavier hit areas. So I know Prospect should be having operations going on this evening, and some of the Red Bay areas when I had looked at the email with our operation schedule for tonight. But it's not going to change overnight. It's going to take a while for us to get this back under control. So bear with us. We encourage people to wear insect repellent, your mosquito repellent when you're outside, especially just after sunset.
Yeah, they're out 24/7.
Exactly. But even during the daytime, but again, right after sunset, it is worse than during the day. So, especially, dusk and dawn, those are the times where you're going to have a lot more mosquito activity. So we ask people to protect themselves as much as they can right now, as well as their pets, their dogs. Because this type of mosquito that's out there right now, the Aedes tyrincus, which is a black salt marsh mosquitoes, which pretty much they're born inside the dikes in the swampy areas. They're a vector for dog heartworm. So people that have pets need to ensure that they are protecting their pets by ensuring that they're up to date with their heart guard medicine.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I know people are not very happy with MRCU right now because it's not comfortable outside, but I could assure you the team is in full force doing what they can to bring it back under control. It's going to take a while until we get there. And we're definitely on it.
I appreciate the update.
Yep. To the reason I'm calling.
You digress.
Yes. So one of the things, and I'm speaking on behalf, not on behalf, but I'm speaking from my experience when I used to do
weather.
weather and you know, my responsibilities when I worked in the state of Florida regarding forecasters explaining weather systems. And I've heard you guys sometimes say it. I heard it when I watched the press conference in from the Jamaican authorities, and I will say a lot of weather forecasters do not do a really great job at really explaining to people how to the forecast tracks. I hear people all the time talking and making comparisons with Ivan, saying, oh, Ivan made this big shift, and even though they said it was supposed to go north of Cayman and be more of a sister islands event, it was, you know, south of Cayman and was obviously a more Grand Cayman event than it was a sister islands event. And they said, oh, the forecasters got it wrong, this, that, and the other. So the truth is and the reality is the forecast from Ivan was actually still accurate. And what I'm saying is, when people look at that forecast cone, you have to look at the entire cone. What that forecast cone is saying is anywhere within that cone is where the center of the storm may be. So people are saying, oh, well, right now it looks like it might go onshore at this location because they see that it goes to, that's the middle of the cone. That is not the way to interpret the cone. The way to interpret the cone is the center can be anywhere on either edge, whether it's the left side or the right side, the west or the east. So if you look at the current and the most latest forecast cone that the National Weather Service put out at 5 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, so 4 o'clock Cayman time, you would see that also the very western side of Jamaica is kind of where the edge of the cone is, or kind of over Kingston is right now where the most eastern part of where the cone is. So that is to be interpreted as the center, while most models are indicating and agreeing that that's where the likely track might be. There is still the possibility that it stays more on the left side and then, or the west side, left side, west side, and it could actually bring it directly over Montego Bay or the edge of the western side of Jamaica, as opposed to where the center is. So people need to stop really trying to say, oh, the center, it looks like it's going here, there, and because that is not the way to interpret the cone. When I was kind of the spokesperson for the state of Florida for this type of thing, this is one of the things that the National Hurricane Center and those persons told us we need to explain to the public. And I will say that I always try to tell my friends and people that, you know, ask me about my opinions on it. I try to explain that to them. And so that's why I'm calling, just to kind of share that knowledge, because people then will say, well, you guys were wrong. It went, it came on shore at this side or that side. But the forecast track is accurate. Going back to Ivan, saying that Grand Cayman was still within the cone, and where it went was still within those forecast tracks. It didn't go through the center of the cone, but it stayed more on the western side of the cone. And that's why we end up having the issues we did back during Ivan days and stuff. So just wanted to kind of put that out there, make sure, you know, everyone has to be as prepared. I know it's really not a good situation for Jamaica. I'm certainly praying for the folks there, because, I mean, a storm with this strength is certainly going to have some very long-lasting impacts. And we could only hope and pray for their best, that people are using good judgment to try to protect themselves, their families, and we could just pray for the best. And of course, we will be there for them as soon as this passes. You know, Cayman, I know, will be there for them, as well as many other places who love Jamaica. We love Jamaica. We want to make sure that they get back up on their feet as soon as practical.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Yes.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you for
Absolutely.
the explanation. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Wow. So lots going on. I wanted to play a few videos, if I may. I was mentioning that the security forces are said that they're prepared to protect businesses. So let me just play one of those videos now. And this is Springs Plaza. Okay.
Well, we're pretty much parking our static unit at Spring. So as to ensure, and other vulnerable locations, to ensure that looting doesn't take place. Because when when something like that happens in the middle of the story, it's very difficult to move from one location to the other.
So, what message would you send to the looters?
Well, it's just like them to know that thing is not crime. It's basically robbery in the rain. It's not your property. And I mean, it's a really bad idea to go to loot in general and to go to location where which is secured by armed security officers. And a decision to come to a location where Mackay security is a decision you're going to regret for the rest of your life.
Okay.
And our contact there from TV J News, she is preparing to go live, so she couldn't join us just now. But here's a video also from the Prime Minister from earlier today.
There is no infrastructure in the region that can withstand a Category 5. There is going to be damage if there is a Category 5. I believe it was Cancun that had a major hit in the last hurricane in Mexico. And we've seen what it did to Puerto Rico and other islands. And those weren't Category 5s. So a Category 5 hurricane will definitely damage roofs. It will definitely compromise infrastructure, even concrete infrastructure. It will scour roads. It will destroy agriculture and vegetation. No doubt it will impact our ports and our airports. Category 5 would be a really bad disaster. But what I don't want is for Jamaicans to get into a depression that it would be the end of the world. What I want you to always be is positive in your outlook, and that even if the worst comes, we will be able to recover. That's the position.
Now, one of the strongest hurricanes in recorded history. It's making now a move toward Jamaica. Let's talk about the timing and the landfall and also the rainfall amounts, storm surge, everything you need to know about Melissa and its impact on Jamaica. I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg with today's AccuWeather Quickcast. So a very dire forecast for Jamaica, something we've been watching develop all weekend long. And on Monday afternoon, the winds went up to 175 miles an hour with this storm. So, you're nearing some of the top of the list, some of the strongest storms on record. And also in terms of its central pressure, it's one of the strongest storms recorded. It's got an incredible eye right now, which has your classic stadium effect when we look on satellite. It's so clean inside that eye. This is a very effective and efficiently running heat engine right now. And it's a powerhouse. And what we're looking at is that slow northerly turn that has just started to show itself on this Monday afternoon, which means it is now turning toward Jamaica, or making that turn toward Jamaica. It does look like it's going to go on the western, or at least west central to western side of the island. Kingston is not going to get the absolute worst. Now, they're still going to get slammed with terrible and damaging weather. But the worst of it is going to be toward the central part of the island, a place called Mandeville, or over to Black River. We might see the biggest storm surge of up to 13 feet. We could get 15 to 30 inches of rain there, maybe even up to 40 inches. Keep in mind that the annual rainfall for New York City is a little over 40 inches, so they could get our annual rainfall just in this storm. And then in mountainous areas, there's going to be tremendous mud slides, maybe communities cut off, long-term power outages. The island's absolutely going to be devastated by this storm, and I've heard a lot of people refer to it as Jamaica before and Jamaica after the storm, and that's what we're super concerned about. So everybody's hunkered down there. They know what's coming, and landfall is likely to happen first thing on Tuesday morning. So areas in that eye wall, in that west central area, will end up getting the worst. And even some of our computer models are showing winds that are going up to 130 miles in places like Mandeville. So very frightened for that island right now, as it's about to take a direct hit from a major Category 5 hurricane. It moves on by, let's say, lunchtime Tuesday. It's emerging back into the Caribbean. It heads over into Cuba and ultimately into the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, and then out in the Atlantic, actually threatens Bermuda with a Cat 1 hurricane. In terms of our weather, there's no direct impact. It's sending swells toward the coast, but there's also a bit of a tropical connection with our next storm. And in future quickcasts, we're going to talk about the timing in total with Thursday's storm. That's our AccuWeather alert day for 1 to 3 inches of rain, 40-mile-per-hour gusts, and some minor coastal flooding. So just prepare on a very active, stormy Thursday here, and then hopefully that storm leaves in time for Halloween, leaving us kind of windy and chilly, but without much rainfall. So we'll have more in future forecasts.
All right. So, by all accounts, it's not to be taken lightly at all, Sabrina. Yeah,
not at all. And He just confirmed exactly what I was saying earlier on in Black River area, and I got persons who are commenting that they have family there. But one very important fact that slipped me, and I know is a fact: Black River is full of crocodiles.
Speaking of which, I've got that video ready too.
Yeah, and I saw
Hold on,
something as
Katie.
well yesterday
Yes.
with a snake by somebody's window. Oh my God! Yeah, I can't play that over again though. But oh Lord! But yes, besides the water, God, all of these animals are trying themselves to seek shelter.
Yes. So I've got the let me grab the crocodile one. I just saw it, Let me see, where did I put it now? Yes, honey child. They all over the place. Yeah, hold on one second. I'm gonna grab that. I just saw that video. Yeah, what a mess. Can you imagine? No, sir. As you say, this one is Bull Bay. So they're talking about the crocodiles. So give me 1 second here. Let me just grab this one. There's moving parts to what we do here in the studio.
Yeah, there's a lot
in real time. Yes, in real time. And Sabrina will know. You don't normally grab videos yet, but soon come.
I've tried. I think one was an error, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck did I do because it worked. I'm just trying to get it. My thing is when I grab them, I don't know where to find it after it's downloaded.
Oh yeah, you got to pay attention to where your computer's saving it.
Yeah, that's a problem.
You have to change the default location. But here's this video. Speaking of this, give me 1 second here. I'm gonna just show everybody this one about the crocodiles. Girl, stay out of the water. Don't play around. Stay indoors. That's your safest bet.
Inside 8 Mile Bull Bay, residents have been complaining about this specific pond that sits in the center of the community. Why? Because it poses a threat. It's a habitat for crocodiles, and once the heavy rainfalls begin, it swells and it floods the community. Speaking of the crocodiles, one just made an appearance. If you look closely right there, you see the back of the crocodile.
Oh God.
Ooh, stop. Look at that. Yes, sir. There he is. He looked kind of big too,
Boy, check your WhatsApp. I just sent you the one with the snake that I was referring to.
Oh my gosh.
Residents have been blaming the highway because the drainage that was built is not big enough to accommodate the level of waters that settles in the community.
What a heat.
Yeah, and imagine
crocodiles and
snakes, and then they got these big toads as well. Oh my God!
No. Cheese and peace. No, sir.
With a storm surge of 13 feet, you're quite right.
Look at this. Look at this one.
One of them sting.
What?
Oh God, supposed to have more family there. Oh God,
close the windows.
Pull on the house again.
Man. Oh, he's going back out. Thank God. But they don't have poisonous snakes in Jamaica, right?
No.
In the name of God, I rebuke you, Satan. Satan, I rebuke you. Rebuke. Go back.
Oh my gosh. Get a stick and push him back out the window now. Close the window.
Oh. Get so close to me.
Yeah, I would be scared to death.
I rebuke you.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't take frogs, much less snakes. You can imagine.
Sandra, it wouldn't be no Melissa kill me.
It'd be from a heart attack from the snake.
Yeah.
Listen, keep them outside and far away. That's why I'd be locking every window, locking every door. These things they're looking for shelter too. So they're looking for a way to get in. Whoa.
Yeah. So Kathy Wilson says there were issues with alligators in Katrina, Louisiana. Some horror stories about bodies. Yeah. So it's, oh God. So this is real. I've seen another image as well on YouTube. Somebody in a tree with all these gusts and winds, and you're climbing a tree. Now, that's a disaster waiting to happen.
Actually, I don't know if you heard this earlier, but a guy actually died.
Doing what?
Unfortunately, he was trying to secure a zinc roof. Now I have a video, and let me be clear. I don't know that this is the same guy who died, but the video that we have is the guy who fell off a zinc roof. Ironically, there was a guy who died by falling off a zinc roof, but I don't know that this is him because there probably is more than one person. As a matter of fact, earlier today, one of the government officials was saying that they had, I forget how many people were at the hospital already because of injuries
Quite a few.
related to the preparation.
Falling off of ladders and stuff like that.
Yes, yes. So this guy was trying to make his last minute preparations. And folks, if you're gonna do it, you got to be careful and be safe about it, or try and get somebody, a little handyman who maybe have more experience. But people are trying to help themselves. And unfortunately, here he is, as you can see on the rooftop. And there's a guy below him handing him a piece of, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is that tarpaulin, or it looks like zinc or something else? He's handing it to him, and he's climbing up the ladder and trying to push it up to the guy on the roof. You see the winds? I mean, look at the winds.
Oh, look at the wind.
Yeah, look what the wind doing already. I mean, it was already getting windy. There's a little dust there that you'll see. See the palm tree, everything. Look at that dust. Look at that dust. Yep. And boom. And the ladder, everything. So I don't know what the status of that poor guy is. But I do know, because the government announced it earlier, that there was one person who was killed already that they're attributing to the storm because he fell off a roof doing the exact same thing. So I'm not sure if it was him. Just to be clear, this might have been somebody else who also fell off a roof, but one person has died already. And the storm not even hit yet.
There was another story that a lady said she knows where to find her zinc. So she preferred to remove every sheet of the zinc off of her house and wrap the beams in tarp. Yeah. And store her zinc, because she'll know where to find them, because she didn't expect the government to respond in time. So if she took off all of her zinc and made her roof out of tarp, that was safe for her. So now her house has no zinc on it. It's just tarp because she secured her zinc. No, I'm not going to argue with the lady. Yeah.
And there's quite a bit about the gullies like overflowing and stuff like that. So,
neighboring houses and the walls, the retainer walls have been breached or needed repairs. So that is a big concern for neighbors as well who live.
Oh, they're having a briefing now. Shall we pull in the briefing? All right,
let's keep our people updated.
Second. And I'm gonna go and sort out, because I'm on mommy duty now, so I need to go sort out dinner for my little one.
Connie, you're something else.
I'll pull this in for you.
Atlantic, possibly moving close to Bermuda, all the way out in the Atlantic.
All right, so let me pull this in.
Check again. So when it comes over the country, you said earlier that it's going to be affected by not being over the waters. But once it comes over our land and goes back into the waters, is it going to then re-energize?
It's echoing. Oh,
yes,
there we go.
That would happen, but as I said, it's really only 90 miles of water, and so the increase may not be that significant before it gets to Cuba, and then it would exit Cuba and then pick up more speed with much more water area than land area as it goes through the Bahamas and over into the Atlantic. It may pick up a little bit more strength, but then it would be again moving into cooler waters at this time, where it wouldn't be able to get much stronger. We're not expecting it to again regain Category 5 hurricane force. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. Earlier we were doing longitude and latitude, and we heard a word from Evan that I'm not used to hearing, and so I had to look it up using AI, of course, and it was recurvature. He said it many times, recurvature, so I had to look it up. It's a change in the path of a tropical cyclone from a generally west to northwest track. So remember, it was going west, and then it moves then to a northeast or eastward track. So that's what recurvature is. So it was going to the west, but now it's going to turn and go towards the east. So thank you very much for teaching me another meteorological term today on all of Jamaica, that term. And so now we are going to go to the other man of the hour, or Minister of Local Government and Community Development, the man who is responsible for disaster response and who does a tremendous job of it. He is non-stop. He is here through the night, all through the day. Minister Mackenzie, I do not know how you do it, but you continue to serve this country, and we're very grateful for it. And so please tell us where we are with everything under your purview.
Thank you, Minister. You have been doing a good job yourself. Acknowledge my colleague who just walked in. There's a fine for being late. And to acknowledge the members of the support team, the JDF, the police, the Jamaica Fire Brigade, the Red Cross, and all the other entities, chairman of the board, members of the media. I want to start off by giving some updates as it relates to the operations of a Jamaica Public Service Company. And as you have been told by Mr. Thompson, that the southern part of the island is experiencing some challenges as we speak. Now, this update that has been provided to our center downstairs, and I want to make the point that all the information that is pertinent to the ongoing hurricane comes directly out of the ODPEM. So when we give the information, it is not hearsay or faked information. It is the information that has been gathered by the team, and each entity, for instance, all the utilities are here, both telephone, water, and light. So when we speak with a certain level of authority. A total of some 50,000 persons are without light in the following parishes as we speak: Portland, St. Thomas, St. Elizabeth, Manchester. Approximately 40,000 persons in the western end of the island are presently without power. And there are 4,000 in the eastern part of the island, and another 5,000 without light in central Jamaica. Transmission lines are out in Magati and Porous as a result of down power lines and poles in some instances. The Jamaica Fire Brigade reports a number of trees in some areas they have received reports, and they have a team out there removing the fallen trees, and with support in some instances from members of the community. You remember earlier this morning, the Prime Minister did indicate that the National Solid Waste Management Authority is on the road, and they are a part of that team island-wide that is helping to remove fallen trees right across the island. The Red Cross reported that at Veer Technical High School, approximately 300 persons are at the shelter, and the concerns that we have is that in short order, and I guess by now, the shelter would have reached its maximum capacity, and steps are being made to house persons seeking shelter at a different location. Just want to again remind persons going to our shelters to take your medication, walk with some biscuit for the first couple of hours, some water to make yourselves comfortable. And it is important that your personal documents, important documents, are well secured. The issue of shelters, ladies and gentlemen, Jamaicans, has become more pronounced because during our briefing meeting with the ARTPEM and various persons, it was brought to my attention that the new wing of the transitional center at King Street, the Desmond Mackenzie Center, we'll have to activate that because the work of the police and the team on the ground has brought in more persons off the streets in the shelters, and that is very commendable. We are seeing an increase over the last couple of hours of persons responding and have gone into the shelters, which is good, but we still have a few that is still out on the road. I want to address some concerns around shelters that was brought to our attention concerning the Milesville area in southeast St. Elizabeth, and the fact that complaints were made about those shelters. I want to make it clear, ladies and gentlemen, that the shelters are provided for the needs of those who want to go to the shelters. There are no other considerations that are given when we open the shelters. So I don't want anybody to create the narrative that you have to be aligned one way or the other to access the shelters. And there seems to be some concerns raised about the operations of these shelters. So I want to advise that all the shelters in Southwest St. Elizabeth, the Milesville Division, are in operation, and Southeast, and that they have been provided with the requisite items to afford for the smooth operation of the shelters. We are in constant touch with our shelter managers across the island, and I know, and I want to say this, as soon as the conditions start to deteriorate in certain areas, the difficulty is going to show in making contact in the way that we would want the contact to be made. We have a very effective radio telecommunication system which is manned by the Jamaica Fire Brigade, and that system is up and running. It is a part of the JICA program that the government of Japan and the government of Jamaica has put in and has made us very efficient, and it is a system that the police has tied in, and all the major stakeholders across the country has access to the system. So our shelters are up and running, and I want to say to Jamaicans that I'm encouraging you you still have a little window to go into the shelters because it is important. There are also complaints about Ocho-Rios-I. That matter has been dealt with. And I want to thank the many concerned Jamaicans who continue to send me messages about the operation.
There we have it. That is an ongoing live press briefing from Jamaica right now in your hearing. Right now, when you hear about all of the telecoms and power lines that is down, remember, this hurricane is still some 145 miles offshore, which means the brunt of it, nothing, these are just like the outer bands that is making its way slowly but surely on the shores of Jamaica. And based on the 4 o'clock update here for us in the Cayman Islands, by our own weather service, it is 265 miles southeast of Grand Cayman and 225 miles south east of Cayman Brac. So you can see exactly what we were talking about earlier on and all of the infrastructure damage. We got a caller from Michelma who was saying that, you know, she hadn't heard from her friend or can't. This minister has said it, Minister MP McKenzie has said it, that infrastructure has already been compromised in certain areas, certain parishes of Jamaica, and that will continue as the center of this continues to get closer, which we will see more impacts to infrastructure as people have been warned about earlier on. And, you know, even though some persons are a bit apprehensive still about moving for whatever reason, and we have shared those stories on here, it's almost like, get over it. I'm tired of hearing about Melissa. Just come, be gone. Or, you know, when you have persons who are like saying, I'm wondering if it's coming, it's because it's still 100 and odd miles off of your island. It has not made landfall as yet. That's going to happen possibly in the wee hours of the morning. So it is a little bit tricky. And you can only take the heed and warnings that is presented. And like at some point in time between tomorrow morning and during the day tomorrow, Tuesday, all of Jamaica will be impacted some way, somehow, and others will be impacted much more. So it's a bit tricky. I keep saying that. It's sneaky. It's almost, you want to say deceptive, because with the light showers that is being described, lover's rain, that is right now because of how far offshore it is. And remember, you've heard the forecasters, the meteorologists saying that the core of it, the center of this system, where the strongest rain bands and winds are, is still pretty compact, meaning the strongest winds, heaviest rains are closer to the center of the eye. So what we're feeling, and they're referring as lover's rain, are like the outer fringes of the bands, similar to what, even though we're getting squalls here in the sister islands and some in certain parts of Grand Cayman, certain parts of Jamaica is experiencing exactly what we are experiencing now. But at some point between the wee hours of the morning, when that core makes its way on land, wherever that landfall is going to be, which we're saying right now, into the Black River area, from what they're saying. Of course, you will know more about this around 10 o'clock and maybe around 12 o'clock tonight, because it looks as though they're giving their reports. This reconnaissance plane is going in every 3 hours. And we realize now that what information now that we're getting is totally off of modeling from computers, because the plane had to abort. It was that bad. So you're trying to figure out, well, how are we getting this information? Just how we've been getting it before the planes flew into the storm. Now, that in itself is concerning, because when a plane has to abort, that should tell you how hard it is, what type of turbulence they're experiencing. And if you've ever, like me, I go and I look to see what it would be like to just go into the eye of a hurricane, which I would never want to do. God bless those people. Thank them for their service, for being so brave. And that's brave men and women to do that. But with this particular system, it's the first time that I am aware of, that I have heard. I'm just want to be clear. This is the first time that I'm heard. That maybe they've done it before, a lot of other times before, but that is concerning that they had to abort that because the turbulence was just that bad. So let's hope by the 10 o'clock, which would be 11 o'clock their time, 10 o'clock our time, that the update then that we're experiencing, maybe they may make another fly through it so that we could get real stats where they drop these instruments down out of the plane that is connected to their computers, and it's feeding back real-time information, giving us the latest forecast as to what the wind speed, rain, and that sort of stuff is all in real time. Outside of that, it's totally dependent on different programs that's computer, and that's why forecasters' work is so unpredictable, so to speak. And as we heard Kevin, he was in his previous life, he used to do this for a living. So I appreciate their job, and being layman in how they describe this is key, because we've heard that a lot of what is coming out of Jamaica. That person is saying, we just don't understand it. I've heard one comment where the lady says, I'll move because they say the tail is the worst. And I'm like, what? Did I just hear that correctly? No. So it all depends on how you listen, how you break it down. Sometimes you literally have to break it down in simplistic terms. They just want to know a hurricane is coming. I've written this one out, as Kevin alluded to earlier on, and I'll do this one again. So how they communicate is key. It's very scientific. And I know many a times if it is a field that you're accustomed to, it's hard to convert your language, how you explain stuff in layman's terms. And sometimes you have to be a little bit more animated, or try to use simple things like how I would say picture Jamaica on a plate, or the storm as a circle. The right hand is always usually the strongest with all of the weather. The Cayman is on the left side. So things like that. And look, I'm not no meteorologist, but I was raised by a very brave seaman, and it's quite, I find it very interesting and fascinating. And I was happy to hear everything that the weatherman in that previous video that Sandra shared from a qualified forecaster, how I was able to articulate it. It made sense, and he just qualified or was validated pretty much what I was saying. But it's very interesting what's about to unfold in Jamaica. It's very also concerning that you have persons who have done the preparation, who have gone out and bought their stuff expecting this to make a landfall, let's say even over the weekend or by now, and they are almost getting Michelle fatigued. But this is not something that's going away. It is actually coming. And we can hear from the latest forecast that it is beginning to make that turn, as that live broadcast just said. And that means it's definitely going to be headed straight to Jamaica at some point. Now, where it makes landfall is a different thing. And we know that it's shifted further west. So as we were alluding to earlier on, that's more the Black River area side of things. Someone had asked, what about Ocho Rios? That is on the north side of Jamaica, where this hurricane is going to make come on shores like the southwestern side of Jamaica, which would be like on the bottom if you look at the map. So it's going to be interesting. And then it's going to curve at an angle across Jamaica, which is weird. But again, this is all forecasting. We don't know what Mother Nature is going to do, but right now, everything that they have said, it looks as though it's going to come across at an angle where Montego Bay is not going to necessarily be spared at this time. So it's almost forecast by forecast that will determine exactly what's going to happen. And for the layperson who's just sitting down and just shooting it off the top, you can't do it with this one. You literally have to wait one forecast to the other to find out what's happening. Sandra, very interesting. Because of politics, the Cayman Islands weather need to wait. Yes or no? Not so sure what that was. Please pause Cayman Islands real weather and why we can't have real report. Please ask England. Okay, I context matters. Very brave. Jasara. Hi, how are you, my love? Eva Bryan, Dorothy, good evening. How are you? So good to have you here with us. Yes, Elrol, Lindo, it is, yes, we have to honestly pray for them. Connie, you were laughing about the lady with the zinc. Yeah, it is. That's what she did. So there we have it. Oh, let me bring this. Does that look like Mr. Tufton, Christopher Tufton back? You mind? Let's hear what he has to say. Yep, that's him.
As we had announced, but all hospitals remain open and all are prepared. I have done a number of visits over the past 24 hours or more, visiting some of these institutions, having conversations with the staff, and at the Emergency Control Center in New Kingston, headed by Dr. Dawkins Wright, who is here in the audience. We have had several briefs involving the respective regional health authorities and the hospital heads. And from all that I have seen, we are prepared and ready. There's adequate water storage supplies, adequate food both for staff and patient, adequate medical supplies. a logistics infrastructure which involves our own logistics, but also coordination with other agencies like the Fire Brigade and others. And I think generally speaking, there's a staff that is ready and waiting. The message to them is firstly to take care of their family members, ensure that their homes are safe, and then commit themselves to ensuring that over the next number of hours, they will commit fully to serving the Jamaican people from a healthcare perspective. So that is in place. We are concerned about a few hospitals that are on the coastline. So Noel Homes in Hanover, Black River in particular, in St. Elizabeth because of where the storm will enter the country, and Falmouth, Trelawney. We have evacuation plans for those institutions. So today we started some evacuation efforts out of Black River. Fortunately, we just completed a 12-foot seawall on the coastline between the hospital and the sea, and that is in place, which will provide a buffer and some protection. But based on projections of 13 or more foot waves, we do anticipate a breach of that. So we have moved some of the services out of the hospital further inland and have relocated patients from the ground floor to the second floor, and hope that that will suffice for any surge that will take place. The other institutions have evacuation arrangements and will exercise that as the case may be. Each of those institutions, of course, have generator backup power that will take them hopefully through the period that may be downtime until power is restored. The staffing for the surge capacity are in place. Rosters are in place. Doctors, nurses, biomedical engineers, drivers, and porters, all of those are in place to deal with the possibility. Very sad to announce that even though the storm has not yet hit, we have had 3 deaths related to the preparation of the storm. One in Hanover, one in St. Catherine, and the other in St. Elizabeth. And these are due to persons preparing for the storm, unfortunately, cutting down of trees in particular. In one case, a tree fell on one of the individuals. In St. Elizabeth, he was airlifted, and it's a health worker. He was airlifted to the University Hospital and succumbed to his injuries. Another case in Hanover, the same thing. And another case in St. Catherine. In one of the cases, there was an electrocution, as is reported to me, linked to the cutting down of trees. There have been about 13 other injuries linked to preparation, most of which are linked to persons falling off ladders or rooftops, trying to prepare for the storm. I just want to use the opportunity to urge Jamaicans, firstly, to express condolences to the family members who have lost loved ones, and the health system will provide support as necessary to those individuals. But to also urge Jamaicans, we understand the need to prepare, but we urge extreme caution in that preparation. If you need help, call for help, but be careful that you protect yourself even in the preparation, because already we're seeing the tragedy of lives lost. In terms of the challenges around the actual event, which very little can be done between now and early AM, which is when we expect the storm to hit. Outside of the preparation of the institutions, and we urge those home to ensure that they have adequate drinking water, because turbidity can impact quality of water. So to the extent that you can collect your water now while your pipes are still running, please store drinking water. The non-perishable foods, please be mindful of that and secure that to the extent that you have not already done so, and there's an opportunity so to do. We are aware that from a health perspective, post
Okay, I'm hearing that it is very low on your end. I'm trying to work on the volume, but just for the sake of those who may have missed it, that we were talking, the Minister of Health, that's Minister Christopher Tufton, just stated that since in preparation, they've had 3 deaths so far, one in Hanover, one in St. Elizabeth, and one in St. Catherine. All of those were one was due to an electrocution, one from a fallen tree that fell on someone and they succumbed to their injuries. And one was an emergency worker as well who was airlifted to another location of Jamaica that later on died. In total, there were over 13 injuries reported thus far. And those 13 other injuries related to persons preparing for the storm from Hanover, St. Elizabeth to the Black River area. This is where all of these injuries so far has been happening, and that all the infrastructure that they can at the hospitals, they are as prepared. He has secured additional water to make sure that access to water is there at these facilities. And he's just asking persons to, as they prepare for this weather, that they do it with caution. But yeah, it is sad to know that we've had 3 deaths already as they prepared for this, and we see the videos ourselves how dangerous it can be for persons actually preparing for the storm. Now, what was quite interesting, and as I look at the map here of Jamaica, that he says that they're removing persons from the hospital there in the Black River area. That is in the parish of St. Elizabeth and also in Trelawney. It's amazing how he said that, because when you look at the map, St. Elizabeth and Trelawney, pretty much from one end of the island, just picture it going straight across, that leads into the parish of Trelawney. And that is where the forecast is expected to come anywhere in between St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, in that area. So the mere fact that they're making the preparations, even though it's a healthcare facility, to vacate these healthcare facilities because of the inherent danger, that is where it's forecasted that this eye is going to possibly, the center anywhere in that area is going to actually come on shore. That is what is being the latest information that he's sharing with the public right now. And also that includes Trelawney, Falmouth area, which is on the other side of Jamaica. That's on the north coast side of Jamaica. It's going to come on shore on the south side of Jamaica, southwest side, which would be your Elizabeth, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Westmoreland, that area, and then cut across, impacting with the stronger core of what is expected, St. James, Trelawney, and St. Anne. So it's quite interesting the path that it's going to take. Now, you may not hear us talking a lot more, or hear them talking a lot about Portland, St. Thomas, St. Andrew. That's down by the Kingston side, because that is more on the eastern side of the island. That was where it was first forecasted to come on shore. But as it continued to move more westward without coming on shore, then it took it up the coastline of St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, Manchester, and coming around now more so on the northern side, northwest side of the island. So again, you have to know, geography is good. I never thought I'd be doing this in my adult life, but it makes sense to pay attention in school. It has helped. But yeah, we got a caller. Good evening, caller. Sorry for having you holding.
I says, I tell you, Trelawney, but I hope my friend and her baby, because she got a young baby, I hope they're all right, because she helped me so good. And I had to take Julian, but from yesterday evening late, we couldn't get her. We get her, and then she said that she had to go to talk to her. And I had heard about the man that get electrocuted, that he fell on the house top because he was cutting a tree, and he fell on a wire, but I didn't know he had died. But I heard about that from earlier, but he must be dead, because they say that he had fell on this wire and they took him to the hospital, but you hear the man say, no, he dead.
Yeah, the Minister of Health has confirmed that he's that one that's succumbed.
That's because I done everything, and he actually the wires were over the house, and when he caught that threw him right on top of the wire, and I said, oh my God, look at it. And then my friend had told me but they took him hospital, but he hear the man say he died, but I hadn't know about that from earlier this morning.
Right.
And oh my God, I hope Cheryl okay. Yeah. I pray him for her, because we can't get on to her. Her mother and them been calling her sister and thing, and they can't get her. I speak to them earlier, and they say they can't get her, and she got a young baby. Oh my God, I hope she's okay. Then
Yes.
the children have for her, a son and a daughter. I hope she's okay. She's got another little girl, a young baby. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That Trelawney is bad.
Yes, that's after it's made the landfall. As it go across the island of Jamaica, then Trelawney would be next, is what I took away from that reporting, from that live reporting from the Minister of Health over there.
And you see, I think this is from yesterday, and then it wasn't even that close, and it's getting closer, so I hope to. Oh my God. You know what my friend, you hear what the girl was saying about Kingston, because first they were saying that one get it, and then when I talked to my friend, but she's a nurse, and she was working, but she said her daughter, and then she have Alzheimer's father. Used to live in the States, but she had to bring him out, and then she got two daughters too, but one was home with the father, and then the other daughter was by the aunt.
Yeah.
I got a lot of friends, Jamaica.
Well, let's see. We're going to try to adjust the volume, and because the Minister of Health is still on.
Yeah, okay, but I'm praying for them, my God. But I'm glad we never get it, because use them or not. That is devastating.
Yeah.
Lisa, something. Michelle is something else, but I tell you, I know the Michelle. Easy.
Yeah, but she's something else. Yeah. So for those, thank you so much, caller. Yeah. Oh, he's finished. Yeah. So because we got pretty much down to the end, you can log on to, I'll share the link with you of this live broadcast that you can, my apologies for the volume there. But yeah, pretty much I don't know what he said after I came off that you alerted me. Sandra was helping me in the background, and it looks as though I can't adjust the volume because she pulled it in the studio. So my apologies there. But I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. Our thoughts and prayers do go out for all of those over there in Jamaica, and bringing it home. Please note that a marine watch, and if you notice this color now is actually orange. Yes, the Cayman Islands National Weather Service has issued a marine watch for the Cayman Islands. Wave heights of 8 to 10 feet are expected for the Cayman Islands. Now, further deterioration in marine conditions is expected as Hurricane Melissa moves closer to Jamaica. Persons with marine interest should continue to closely monitor these conditions and alerts through official channels. Mariners are advised to be cautious and secure their vessels. Venturing over the open water is not recommended, and you're encouraged to stay informed for the latest at www.weather.gov.ky and also www.caymanprepare.ky. As we get it here on my social media channels, I will be sharing it as well. Glover Scott, yes, I must say we have to send our prayers to Jamaica. And Connie, I know your people are from over there, and not because I have grown to know you in this space, and for everybody that has family over there. And it's good to have this type of community where we can share and keep abreast of what's happening with our brothers and sisters in Jamaica. And for something of this magnitude, I thought it would be outright disrespectful, to be honest, to not dedicate at least this portion of the show or this episode. And we will continue to talk about it as they recover coming out on the other end of this. But I felt it was worthy to have an outlet like this so that we can share this space to let our brothers and sisters know that our thoughts and prayers are genuinely with them. And what if the shoe was on the other foot? So we are a blessed jurisdiction. We just have to honestly keep positive mind and keep all of those persons in our thoughts and prayers. The next update, as we know, for Cayman will be around 10:30, and I will be sharing that as well right here. So on the Sabrina Turner Community Activist Facebook page, and I'll also be sharing it. So yeah, so at the end of the day, I will be keeping you locked with all the latest information. Sometimes you will see me sharing as we play the videos here from Fox and different media houses in the US that may come a little quicker than ours, but they're from trusted source. And that's the good thing about being a podcaster, being bloggers like ourselves or vloggers like ourselves, that we can do this from this space. But we still do, out of reputation for our brand and for our product, that we only share stuff from trusted networks. So You will always find me sharing stuff that is relative to Cayman, but sometimes for the sake of our wide audience, because as our slogan goes, voices of the islands, conversations for the world. I respect that we have people from all over the region that subscribes to this channel. And this is what we do here in this space. Yes. So Connie, we're from the East and they are okay for now. Thank God. We'll keep that. Yes. So until tomorrow, please do have a good evening. God bless everyone. Thank you for staying with me as we continue to watch the space. Like our forecast says, we could expect some gusts overnight into tomorrow as this hurricane moves closer into Jamaica. The outer bands will impact our islands, including more so in the sister islands, Caymanian and Little Cayman, but that does not leave the Grand Cayman out of its path. So we are actually can expect some gusts ourselves tonight, some squally conditions and rain. And that is why this small craft advisory now is up to a watch, which means we can expect some really, really strong gusts at times. And you're encouraged to not go out on open water. Yeah. Lisa, may our Heavenly Father protect Jamaica and his people with the precious blood of Jesus. There we go. What a way to end the evening. Until tomorrow, have a safe and blessed Monday evening. God bless to everyone.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.